Greetings to all. My name is Jocelyn Escobar, and in this occasion, I am going to explain about sentence problems, since it's very important to learn to recognize and correct them. Within sentence problems, we have sentence fragment and choppy, one complex and stringy sentence. Okay? First, we have a common mistake that we as students often make in essay reading. I am talking about sentence fragments. Sentence fragments are a complete sentence or part of sentence. Also, we can say that it is an incomplete idea because it doesn't have subject, verb, and complement thoughts. A complete sentence must contain one main or independent clause. For example, my mom cooked yesterday while I was watching TV. The independent clause is a full sentence, but independent clause watching TV, it doesn't make any sense on its own. It is just a fragment of a complete thought. So we need to piece it together with the independent clause, okay? In this way. My mom cooked yesterday while I was watching TV, okay? Another example, because some families are unable to celebrate Mother's Day during the month of May, is a fragment. This is a dependent clause. It begins with a subordinator because, and it doesn't express a complete thought because there is no independent clause. To correct this, we need to add an independent clause. For example, because some families are unable to celebrate Mother's Day during the month of May, they feel sad and guilty with their mothers. Okay? Another way to correct this sentence fragment is deleting the subordinator because. In this way, the sentence is more coherent. Okay. Let's talk now about choppy sentence. Choppy sentence are too short and often repeat the same words. It can make you reading appear unsophisticated. For example, the government of Ecuador has spent millions of dollars advertising regarding the dangers leaving the house without wearing a face mask. The number of people infected with coronavirus continues to increase, okay? In the first sentence, his reading is incoherent and sounds disgusting. Since the two clauses separately don't make any sense in its structure. To correct a choppy sentence, we have to combine with conjunction or a link sentence through subordinators. For example, although the government of Ecuador has spent millions of dollars advertising regarding the danger of leaving the house with a green face mask, the number of people infected with coronavirus continues to increase. Okay? Another example is some students go to a vocational school just to know others. Some students go to the college to get a degree and to be an educated person. This is a clear example of choppy sense. The way to correct this is some students go to a vocational school just to annoy others. But in this case, I use the coordinator confusion, but others students go to college to get a degree and to be an educated person, okay? Let's talk now about Rule-on sentences have two or more independent clauses are reading one after another with no punctuation. For example, my husband took care of our baby. Then I had to go to the hospital for a medical review. Okay. Another example is my baby sleeps at noon. Then he wakes up in a bad mood. Those are wrong sentences because you have to complete ideas and no punctuation. Okay, so in order to fix this, that you have to insert either a comma and a coordinating conjunction or a semicolon, okay? For example, after my husband took care of our baby, comma, I went to the hospital for a medical review. Another example, my baby sleeps at noon, comma, and in this case, I used a coordinating conjunction and then he wakes up in a bad mood, okay? Now, uh, about comma splice. Comma splice, it is when two independent clauses are incorrectly joined by a comma without a coordinating conjunction, okay? For example, my brother took care of my son, then I went to buy fruits, okay? Another example, my dad was angry. I went to my room to do my homework. Incorrect. Okay, in this case, we have to add a period after the first clause, after the first independent clause. This is a way to correct the sentence, okay? And about this sentence, I used comma and conjunction and coordinating conjunction. So I went to my room to do my homework, okay? Another way to correct the sentence is I went to my room to do my homework. Since my dad was angry. In this sentence, I use the subordinator signs. Okay. Now about a string sentence. It have too many clauses with at, but, and sometimes because, and all these are difficult to read. For example, I put my house in order all morning. I then rest watching TV and then I prepare some corn. So that is my daily routine at home. In this case, read this stringy sentence is difficult to read because the readers have so much information in their minds at one time. There are, there are three connectors, and here we have and so. Okay. Okay. To correct this sentence, we have to divide them into shorter sentence with fewer clauses and use appropriate transition words and phrases. For example, before I rest watching TV and preparing some popcorn, I put my house in order all morning. That is my daily routine. Another example is my brother went to the park all day while my mom didn't worry about him. So She decided to go shopping at the supermarket. Since my mom was never interested in where my brother was, okay? And that's all. Thank you.